I'll give you a short recap of a press conference there from the president that lasted for over an hour and a half. First thing that you should know is that the president very much doubled down on his threats to Iran, saying that the entire country of Iran can be taken out in one night, and that night might be tomorrow night. That's a reference to Tuesday night, his original deadline of 8 p.m. He then went on to describe this incredibly daring mission to rescue an American service member downed in Iran that happened over the course of Easter weekend, including details about that service member scaling an incredibly difficult mountainous terrain, working to get in contact with multiple units of our military, as well as the CIA, in coordination to make this daring rescue possible. After hearing from the president, as well as the head of the CIA and the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, the end of that press conference there that you just saw turned into something more familiar from the president, which really was a sort of litany of his greatest hits in reaction to reporters' comments that veered from, of course, talking about what may happen in Iran within the next 36 hours, but also then went to attacks on the media, calling reporters, news organizations, fake news, at one point using the R slur in reference to President Biden. And there were many other falsehoods uttered during the course of that long press conference. I'm going to bring in a panel so we can break all of this down. Joining us, co-host of MS Now's The Weeknight and former RNC chairman, Michael Steele. New York Times chief White House correspondent and MS Now contributor, Peter Baker. Retired four-star general and MS Now military analyst, General Barry McCaffrey, Iranian-American scholar and former political prisoner released as part of the 2015 Iran nuclear deal, Kian Tajbakhsh, and MS Now senior national security reporter, David Rohde. David, I'm going to need to start with you. I know that you have been working very carefully on a fact check, and boy, do we need it. Go.
Just to start, I just want to talk about the American military and the amazing job they did on this. What was so stunning to me was that this was described by the president and his aides as like the first time an American pilot had been rescued, and that particularly seeing his deputies, the people who were advising him on this war, saying no president has the courage you, President Trump, have to carry out these kind of missions. As far as I know, and General McCaffrey can correct me, the United States military has been leaving no pilot behind since the Vietnam War for decades. This has gone on over and over again. Not as, you know, this was a very dangerous raid, and it's amazing what happened. But it's sort of extraordinary to watch a president present this as a new thing that has never been done before. I've never heard of any president blocking one of these operations. It's just routine. It's part of the military ethos. And then what was extraordinary was the president going into such detail about how many soldiers were on the ground. He talked about hundreds of them. He talked about the CIA's ability to see from 40 miles away that someone was moving around on the top of this mountain. And that's an amazing thing, and it helped rescue this pilot. But you're disclosing publicly sources and methods that the government has guarded so carefully and that the CIA director himself didn't even mention. So it was sort of an extraordinary litany of things that, you know, he mentioned. And lastly, he criticized the news media, accusing us of reporting that this plane had been shot down, and talked about maybe reporters going to jail. Iranian state media first reported that this plane was shot down. Mm-hmm. Iranian state media was posting videos of wreckage, of an ejector, a seat that had come from this plane, of American rescue planes, you know, coming in. And we didn't actually report it, because I thought it was initially a false claim by Iranian media.